Welcome to Real Estate Agent Superstars. I'm your host, RJ Baxter with Intercap Lending, and I'm here with Trang Janick, who is a community-oriented video and social media realtor extraordinaire. She's with Madison and Company, and I'm super excited to have her on this show because she is some of the stuff she's doing on social media is really impressive. She really is a social media video extraordinaire. She's going to share with us some of her strategies and what she's doing there and help us to maybe come up with some good ideas for our own businesses. So welcome to the show, Trang.
Thanks, RJ. I'm so happy to be here. I know it's taken a lot of effort on both, well, not so much your part, but my behalf, because I've had to
Yeah,
reschedule a couple of times. So thank you so much for the flexibility, and I'm so happy to be here.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, you definitely keep yourself busy, that's for sure. So I can understand that it's hard to fit something like this in. So I appreciate your time.
Of course.
So yeah, so you've been a realtor since 2017. You were telling me.
Yes.
Um,
Yep. September 11th, 2017.
okay. Um, what got you into the business? Why real estate?
It's funny because I actually had my real estate license back in Pennsylvania where I grew up. When I was 18, my parents, even though I was in college, they were like, you need to get your real estate license just as a plan B in case the whole college thing doesn't work out. So they pretty much, as Asian parents, really encouraged me to get my real estate license. And I did. And, I never actually did anything with my license back in PA because as an 18-year-old college student, I just wanted to go out and like party and have fun rather than
Mm,
go sit and learn the business of real estate. So I got licensed and I signed up with a brokerage called Weichert Realtors
hmm
and they gave and it was in Rittenhouse Square, Philadelphia. So I walked in, I signed up. They said, "Here's your phone. Good luck." And that was it. Like there was no training, nothing like that. So I knew that when I got pregnant, I wanted to have some sort of my own legacy to pass along to my kids and stuff. So I figured
hmm
I really want to get back into real estate, knowing that I've taken the test before, I have a basic understanding of it. And at the time, the market was really, really starting to pick up in Colorado. And I saw the trend and I was like, this is a good time to get into the market. So I got licensed and I haven't looked back since.
Wow, so you just pretty much went right into real estate and
Yeah.
didn't do another career before.
Well, I was in a bunch of different things. I did some marketing stuff, some admin
Okay.
stuff, and nothing that really quite uh like filled my cup, you know? So when I
hmm
when I got pregnant, I was like I really did some reflecting and I was like I want something that gives me the flexibility to be with my family and be with my kids, but also build a long-lasting career and generational wealth for my family. So I knew
hmm
that real estate was the key.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So you started into it full time here in Colorado in 2017, or that's when you were with Weichert and back in Pennsylvania?
Oh no, when I was in 2017 or 2016 rather, when I was pregnant, I was pregnant, I was at home, that I knew that that was the time to be studying for my licensing. And come 2017 when I got my license, I was gung ho straight out the gate, just ready to go. And that's when like being a younger agent at the time and a new agent, I just went for it. Like no holds bar. I went for social media and video marketing right out the gate. So I've
Nice.
always been invested in my brand and my messaging and just being out there on social media because it's you have to. If people don't know what
hmm
you do, then you're really going to struggle getting business. You have to get the word out there that you're a realtor.
Yeah, totally. That's so key.
Hmm.
Um, so you mentioned to me before we started the show today that you're really a community oriented agent. What does that mean for you?
Yes. Yeah. So a couple of things actually. When I started in real estate, again, I just completely went all in on video marketing and social media. it's still out there on the interwebs. If you were to Google my name or Trang Janick Realtor and keeping up with the community, that was my first like little video series that where I would go around to local businesses and do like a 3 to 5 minute video on them and interview them on camera and just highlight the businesses. And they were so bad. The videos were terrible. They were self-produced. I would bring
Hmm.
like a tripod, and I learned how to edit in iMovie. I'm like a self-starter, so I taught myself how to edit the videos. They're on there. They're on YouTube, and so I did this series where I went around town. I think I did like 21 businesses, and that was like the start of it, was keeping up with the community. And I feel so passionately about helping out my local community. Number one, because, they help the local economy go round, right? But also, my parents who immigrated to the United States from Vietnam back in the 80s, like they taught me they taught me entrepreneurship, and they taught me a lot about how small businesses work and how much of a challenge and how difficult it is to actually keep your doors open, because they had everything from like a
Hmm.
restaurant, a grocery store, a 1 hour photo shop, a beer distributor, and some of them were pretty successful. Meanwhile, others flunked and failed, and it was devastating. So I completely wholeheartedly understand like what these businesses go through to keep their doors open on a daily basis, and it's not always easy. So I feel like it's part of my mission as a realtor to help businesses be known in a local area, and to just to help keep them afloat and keep them gaining loyal customers.
And what is your area? What part of town are you in?
Yeah, so I operate mostly in Bailey. I live in Bailey, Colorado, which is in the foothills, but I
Hmm.
hang my
Hmm.
license at Madison and Company in Evergreen, and I
Okay.
will, I'm all over the foothills. So anything conifer, Bailey, pine, evergreen, Morrison, golden, Indian Hills, etc.
Okay. Yep. Yep. So were the businesses you interviewed back then up in that community or were they somewhere else?
Yes. So mostly they were in Bailey and conifer, a, one or two in evergreen.
Okay.
And they were a lot of fun. It was so much fun. But it did end up taking a lot of my time. Not to say
Hmm.
that I wouldn't do it again. But it because I actually met some really cool people along the way, and have met a lot of community members that I might not have had I not done that series. And it did get me a lot of local exposure as a real estate agent. So, but I I ended up getting busier and busier. So unfortunately, I was unable to continue doing that video series.
That's just a terrible problem to have, to get too busy to do your strategy.
Right. But I would suggest it. If somebody is looking for some way to get their foot in the door and get their name out there, it's a great way to just get yourself immersed in your community. You don't necessarily have to be the neighborhood expert or the realtor with 30 years service, 30 years of experience. If you come from a place of service and you show that
Mhm.
you really care about the community, it will come back to you in one form or another, because people don't care what you do until they know how much you care, you know?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's why it's always been so important to me to show, like, come from a place of service rather than
Hmm.
selling. And if you do that on a consistent basis, and that's another thing I want to, I'll probably end up talking about, is consistency is key. If you do that
Yeah,
on a consistent basis, the leads will come, the business will come.
totally, totally. So with that, I love that business to business strategy. That's such a good one. Um, was you got busy through that period? Was it because of that strategy or because of everything you were doing, or how much do you think of your business came from that business to business stuff?
So with keeping up the community, I don't know if I might have gotten like one conversion from that,
Hmm.
but down the road, I still think it was all like it was completely worth it, because I have people, even how many years, 5 or 6 years later, saying to me, Hey, I remember you doing that series back in the day. Like, I recognize that you do that and that you care for your community. And it's it might not convert in a sale right now, but who knows down the road if that person refers somebody to me, like, hey, my neighbor needs to sell. Like it happens all the time. So I just never know where the business will come from at a later time. So it's all about planting those seeds.
Yeah, totally. And
Mhm.
and like you alluded to, the consistency of doing of planting the seeds and doing those things.
Yes. Yeah. It's you reap what you sow, but also you you get what you give. So if you
Yep.
give to your community and you give to your people and you pour into them, eventually it's going to happen where it comes back to you. Where people
Hmm.
either refer you or they tag you on Facebook. Like, we see it all the time. I'm looking, maybe not so much for mortgage experts, but like you see it in your neighborhood. I'm looking for a realtor, and I just through that, I have won a lot of those. I call them popularity contests, but I have won a lot of clients or listings through that strategy. And
Yeah.
for those people a lot of people ended up tagging me because they actually recognized or they remember I was top of mind, through videos or something like that. A lot of times there were people that I didn't even really know who were
Yeah,
ending.
and what I love about that, especially in a smaller community type area like Bailey, Conifer, Evergreen, is that
Yeah.
then when people, Google the business, for example, there's your video forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Google loves videos. Or if you do a video about a local event that's happening, or the open space up there or something. I
Yes.
mean, those kinds of things live forever, and there's probably no other realtor that did a video about that business.
Yeah, it becomes evergreen content. So it's on the
Yep.
internet for somebody to search up like at any given point. I think that one of the places that I did was a nail salon and I just like Googled it like a month ago and the video still came up. It was like one of the top ranking links to it because they
Yeah.
don't really advertise. So, and they don't have
Yeah.
a website.
Well, that's what, and speaking from my own experience, I do a lot
Yeah,
of video, and the
right.
businesses themselves appreciate it so much because, and you
Oh,
probably
yeah.
experienced this because, like the nail salon, they don't do a lot of advertising. It's free publicity for them to get their name out
Exactly. Exactly. Precisely. Like, and if you,
there.
again,
Hmm.
come at it from a place of service and you do this on a consistent basis. I mean, this is making me want to get back into it because there are so many businesses that either they don't know the
Yes.
first thing about creating a website or a Facebook
Hmm.
page or social media, and they're just word of mouth and walk-ins, right? So, like, if
Yeah.
you could be that um, catalyst and bridge that gap for them, you're right. They will remember you forever. And you'll also have the perks of just being like on their Google search.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
you're-
not going to lie, it's making me want to get back into it too.
Yeah,
Because I used to do that strategy.
you did? Nice,
Yeah. But
nice.
what I found I'm getting on a little bit of a tangent, but what I
Yeah.
found from being a lender is I'm not as geographically focused.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't quite as effective. Um, but for the businesses I did it with, they loved it. So
Right. Right. But still,
it's a good
again,
one.
you don't know when somebody might run a search later or land on
Yeah.
your video and say, "Oh, I kind of I liked his style or whatever," and go to your website and then get to your newsletter and then become a client. So
Totally.
just never
And
know
then
where the business comes from.
they put two and two together and like, oh, Trang's that agent that I saw on the community page on Facebook or whatever it is. And um, I wanted to get into some of the social media stuff you're doing
Yeah.
because you're doing a lot of community stuff there. You mentioned a strategy that you just started recently that I just love, where you started a community page. Tell
Yeah.
us more about how that how that worked.
How this all came to fruition.
Yeah.
So, as a realtor, I've been wanting to create Facebook group for the longest time, right? You hear about it in all like the coaching and the different websites and online and in TikTok and everything. People say start a Facebook group. Well, I didn't know where to start or what to call it or who to focus on or what my niche should be. And I wanted to do one for years and I just didn't know what it was going to be because I didn't want it to be super salesy either because that's just not my style. So I just waited until I got like the right calling for it, right? And so a few months ago, there's a pretty successful like moms group on Facebook for the Evergreen community. And
Mhm.
somebody made a post and was like, hey, this group is really great and I love it, but I live over in Conifer or whatever. And I wish there was something for the 285 side. And so immediately when I saw that, I was like, ding,
Mhm.
okay, there's your chance. Like there's a need. Somebody needs to fulfill this need, and this could be you.
Mhm.
It could be opportunity. So I thought about it, and then like a friend of mine screenshotted it to me, and the wheels were cranking. So I started a group and I was like, well, why not? Why limit it to moms? I know I can help out a lot of women. And so I started a group. It was called the Ladies of 285 group, networking play dates, happy hours, and just plain community. So it's limited to just the 285 corridor. Well, it's supposed to be.
Mhm. Right.
Although we do have some other people coming in from Evergreen. But basically, I made sure to start the group. And if the women want to join it, they answer 3 questions, and I kind of screen who gets into the group. But um, going back to the inception of it, I didn't think it was really going to go anywhere, honestly. So I almost like didn't even publish it. I published it and I sent it to a friend. I was like, "What do you think of this?" And she's actually like one of my good friends and mentors at Madison, and she kind of just pushed me right in the water. She was like, she takes that screenshot, right? And she went back to the post and she's like, "Oh, Trang just started this group. You should join it." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm doing this now." So
Yeah,
so I made her an admin. She's I told her you got to help me with this.
that's funny.
But it's been so fun. I cannot believe the amount of growth it has seen in 3 months. I was shocked that it even got up to 200 women because I just didn't think it would grow that fast. But in 3 months, we're up to 906 women today. So
Wow,
all
that's
these women
impressive.
were seeking like just what the group's about, like friendship, connection, play dates. And ever since we started, we've had a bunch of meetups, right? Like, so we had a kickoff barbecue event, which was great. Um, we had we've had a couple of happy hours, and just recently we rented out the AMC Bowls movie theater, and
Mm,
we had a private screening for Barbie, and the place was jam-packed. It was full.
wow,
Yeah.
very cool.
And I'm just flabbergasted and blown away because the women in this group are so like they're grateful. They're sending me messages saying, "Thank you so much for putting this together. Like you have
Wow.
no idea how much I just wanted to make some friends around here because it is more spread out in the foothills where we live." So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And what I love about how you approached it is you really did take that community leader approach. It wasn't like you were in people's face that you're a realtor. You were organizing the community
right.
as a leader.
And that's the beauty of this group. And I feel like anybody can really do it. It does take work. And it does take a genuine desire, you have to take a genuine interest in your people if you really want to see it grow. So,
Hmm.
so I never ever say that I'm a realtor. I never say like I don't really even allude to it. And I do let realtors in the group, but basically I know that like when somebody joins the group, well, number one, I give them a really nice welcome message and we say, thank you for joining. But I don't need to let them know that I'm in real estate because it's kind of like this. I don't know if you deal with the one click rule, but in the board for the Colorado Division of Resource, what, or Colorado Division of Real Estate, they say that there's a rule. There's a one-click rule. So on social, if you make a post or something, you have to be able to click once and see what brokerage you're with, right? So like basically, I come from that
Oh, okay.
mentality. Like I have my social media set up so that like if you were to click on my profile, you automatically know I'm in real estate. So
Right. Okay.
the beauty about this group is like I don't have to sell. I just am kind and I'm welcoming I'm again about serving and contribution. And if they really want to see who I am or get to know me, they'll click on my profile. And on my profile, then they'll see that I'm in real estate.
Yeah, totally. So, but I'm sure there's people listening thinking, okay, I get that, and Trang's awesome, and she's the community leader. But have you gotten business from it?
Yes. Yeah. Believe it or
Okay.
not, I just got tagged. Uh, excuse me. Somebody was looking for a realtor, right? She's actually in this group already, and I've met her twice in person because we did Palengo Fitness at the park together and we were at the Barbie event together. Sorry, my little one's making me laugh over here.
Oh,
Um, so we've met in person, but I never told her I was in real estate. Then she just made a post recently saying she was looking for an agent who can price out her 35 acres in Bailey and a house. And I was
hmm,
like, I saw that and I reached out to her and I don't know why she didn't, maybe it wasn't top of mind that she
yeah.
wanted to reach out to me, but I messaged her and was like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually a realtor in Bailey. I'd love to help you. And she was like, yeah, that's so great. Would you be okay with being put on this list? Basically she's going through a divorce and it has to go through mediation. So she needed to give the mediator a few names. And I said, yes, absolutely. Please put me on that list. And I got an email the next day from the attorney saying, here's the next steps. We need a
Mm,
CMA and, you know, um, hopefully that transpires into like a 1.5 to $2 million listing.
that's pretty awesome. Wow.
Yeah. But again,
Three
it's not,
months after, yeah,
yeah.
3 months after
And,
starting the group.
and not from coming from a place of selling, but serving. Like this woman
Yeah.
came to an outdoor fitness class where there were like 3 people who showed up and I was there. But I think that the fact that like I met her face to face, because face to face human interaction is like my forte, as opposed to
Yeah.
door knocking or cold calling. That's just not me. I'm a lot
Yeah.
better in person. So
Yep.
I think that that really, really helped to solidify this relationship. And again, it just goes back to like building the group, but also showing up for your people, nurturing the group. Like I'm constantly like responding to people, encouraging people, trying to make the connections between somebody who needs a babysitter, for instance, and somebody who actually provides childcare. So like being that resource. It's always about
Hmm.
connecting people and being a resource. And when you do that, when you do that with integrity, not like this is like I'm doing this because I want to gain business out of it. I know eventually the business will come,
Right.
but that's not my number one intention, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you read the book, The Go-Giver?
It's on my list and it's in my Audible, but I don't know if I started that one yet. I know it's
It's
a good one though.
what you're talking about reminds me of that book.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
main character connects people basically,
Okay,
and
great. Yeah, I'll have to start listening to that then.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
And it
So
really
what?
it just really fills my cup. Like I'm
Yeah,
again, I've been searching for like the right group to start and like once you gain momentum, you're just going to want to keep it going. You're going to want to keep it going and you're going to want to continue to help people. It's a really cool like phenomenon, you know.
yeah. I mean, well, I can tell just by listening to you how passionate you are about it. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been
so
fun.
have you? So you do a lot on social. Has this taken you away from that, or caused it so you can't do as much other stuff on social, or are you mainly focused on
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. So no, definitely not. This is kind of just like
Okay.
a brainchild passion project thing.
Okay.
And it actually doesn't take up all that much of my time because I'm doing
Mm,
the events that I create are things that I would want to do regardless. So it's like, hey, do you want to come along and for the ride and enjoy the fun? Like the next event that we have scheduled for Ladies of 285 is a fall clothing swap, which is totally right up my alley.
yeah.
So and it's going to benefit a local nonprofit whose director is a woman who's in Ladies of 285. So there's so many ways that you can intertwine circles and groups and help businesses and nonprofits. And it's really truly like that movie Field of Dreams. If you build it,
Hmm.
they will come. Like that is how I've been feeling about it.
That's
But
so
no,
cool.
thanks. But although it
Yeah.
does take up a lot of my, sorry, it doesn't take up as much time as I thought it would. I do
Mhm.
have all these other social media things like, for example, Madison and Company, we have a marketing department which creates for us, well, if you want to use them, there's a marketing platform that's kind of like Canva and
Mhm.
beautiful, like pre-made, they offer pre-made like social posts if you want to use them. So marketing, our marketing department is awesome. So shout out to them. But
Mhm.
like one thing that's really helped me because I got to I got to take clients or negotiate contracts or go on showings or attend a closing. So I learned to delegate some of my time out and I hired a VA and that's been amazing. It's been a real time saver. So even though like they've offered to create posts for me, I just haven't gotten to that point yet because I'm a very hands-on person. So what they do
Mhm.
for me is and they're based in the Philippines, they will
Okay.
go through the marketing platform and they'll just take the image and the caption, they'll schedule posts out for me. And that's been a real time saver. And what I do is
Mhm.
after they schedule them, before they actually post them, I go through, um, it's called Airtable, the system that we use. And I go through
Mhm.
and I will make sure that the caption looks good, it's in my voice, and however I would say it, tweak it however
Yeah.
they need to be. And then I say
Mhm.
approved, and then they schedule it. So that has saved me a ton of time hiring a VA.
Interesting. So how did you find this VA?
Years ago, I forget why it was. I asked them. I found them. I think she actually approached me on Facebook. It might have
Okay.
been in the very beginning of my career. Anyway, I know that I asked her to do like some sort of graphic design work, and
Mhm.
and I also asked them to build out a some sort of database for me, and
Okay.
they did a great job. And I remember that she did a really good job. But then I kind of just fell off, and I started doing everything myself. And
Mhm.
I didn't use her services for a long time. But then flash forward 5 years later, she messaged me again on Facebook and said, "Hi, Trang," or she calls me Miss Trang. She's from the Philippines.
Yeah.
But she said, I've gotten into real estate helping agents, and I just wanted to see if you could utilize any of my services. And,
Mhm.
her business has exploded. She's hired multiple other VAs under her. And I said, you contacted me at a really good time. I was actually looking for a VA because I was inundated with like these ads on Facebook for one. And I said, I'd rather give you the business because I already have this relationship with you. So it
Mhm.
was just the right place, the right time, and we reconnected. And yeah, so she's full time for me.
Wow. So when did she start with you?
Just a few months ago. Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
four
Okay.
months ago, something like that.
That
Three or
is
four.
perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she can help with like they're very talented individuals. So
Mhm.
they could take like a listing property video of mine, splice it up, put new music to it, or she might take this recording and splice that up and turn it into some more content for social media.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of your stuff and I was wondering how you do it because it's impressive. So now I know
Thank
your secret.
Yeah. Yeah, now you know. It's not always
Yeah,
me. But that's
yeah,
the thing. It's like I'm not the type of person who easily will delegate or outsource something. So once I found that I could delegate these social tasks or social media tasks or video tasks to somebody that I trust and I trust their work,
hmm
then it's been like a whole weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
I bet. I bet it made a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you probably have somebody who does your podcast editing, right?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. And I'm sure that saves a ton of time for you to go
Oh
do.
man,
Yeah.
yeah. I could never keep up on it or do it as well. That's the other
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like a no-brainer.
Yep.
So was it hard for you to let go?
Yeah. I mean, at first, and that's why I'm very hands-on in the sense that I do edit or I do review all their posts. Some people are just like, yeah, just go post whatever. But that's not me because I still like
Mhm.
I want to make sure that what is said in the caption sounds like something that would come from me or something that I would say or has like my
Sure.
twist on it. Because to me, words are very, very powerful and very, very important. Just words. There's just the
Oh yeah,
use of language and words and the things that we say and the things that come out of our mouths and on social media. I have found that to be extremely powerful in the way that you word things and what your messaging is. So,
totally. I agree 100%.
yeah.
So how much do you pay her?
So,
Just out of
Oh, I'm
curiosity.
not,
And
I got lucky. I believe like in my research, the going rate for a VA
Mhm.
nowadays is like $7 to $10 or something like that per hour. But I was able to lock her in at $5 an hour. So
Wow.
she's full time.
That's so
Yeah.
$200 a week full time, and you're getting all this stuff done and
Yeah.
multiplying your efforts. I mean, it seems like a genius move to me.
But you know what? I've also sent her business too. So she's at
Mm-hmm.
capacity. And her schedule is completely full. She's very happy with it, and I keep her busy. So, yeah, so it all worked out. It was a win-win for everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. I was going to ask you for her number, but it sounds like she's not.
Sorry, she's
Yeah.
at capacity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm good actually, but
Yeah,
um, well,
you
that
seem.
is real. What's that?
I said you seem like you have it down pat over there.
I've got it dialed in pretty good, but
Got it dialed in.
you always got to watch out for talented people.
I was so I was so impressed by how many slots you actually did have available on Calendly when I had to reschedule. That means you got it dialed in.
Did or didn't?
You do, because it
Oh,
allows
okay.
you to have free time in your schedule at a moment's notice. And it's
Yeah. Yeah.
only if the only way you can actually achieve that is if you are so efficient with your time and your systems that you can actually do that. You know,
It's true.
so I
Yeah.
respect you.
Blocking, time blocking, and all that stuff is so important, I
Yeah.
think.
hmm Yep. It's one of
So,
the things that I don't succeed at
yeah.
wildly. So I'll be listening on. Send me your recommendations for the podcasts for that, and I'll listen in.
Yeah. There you go. I need to have someone on for that
Yeah, yeah,
for sure. That's a good one.
yes.
So what do you have planned for the future? What kinds of projects do you have? Are you working on? What do you
Yeah,
want to do in the future?
yeah. For the future, I'm kind of just like that girl who kind of is just not fly by night, but like I kind of go with the flow. Although I would love to grow a team. I
Mhm.
have it's right now it's just me and my partner, Tessa, and we work so well together that like I'm very protective about who I bring on board or it's not to me it's quantity or sorry, to me it's quality over quantity. And so although I am looking to expand my team, I just want to make sure it's the right fit. So I
Mhm.
probably should be a little bit more active about that, but right now I kind of just want to continue um doubling down on what we have and see how far we can grow. And then once we have more systems in place and things are a lot more, efficient and systematic, then I think I'm going to really start recruiting agents.
Okay.
Because then I know, what I have to offer as a team lead.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can accomplish it because you seem very focused and driven, and I'm sure you'll get
Thank
there.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, RJ.
Yeah. So you know, with all the content you're putting out and all these great ideas, I'm sure there's people listening that would want to follow you. So how can they find you?
Yeah. So pretty much all of my handles are going to be Trang Janick, Trang
Okay.
Janick. I'm so used to spelling it. But or Trang Janick Realtor, or if you just Google my name, I'm the only one that will pop up. So it's pretty
I was
simple.
going to ask how we could figure out which Trang Janick you were out of all the ones.
Yep, the only one. So
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's good to have a unique name for sure.
yeah. And that's part of the reason why, when I got licensed, I wanted to make sure I went with my married name because then I knew it was going to be super unique and nobody else would have it. Because my maiden name is Lay, which is a very common last name
Oh,
in,
sure.
in Vietnamese. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yep.
Cool.
Always thinking
And
about the brand.
definitely that's
Mhm.
that's key. One more little tidbit to leave us with.
Yeah.
Think about your brand.
Think about your brand.
Yeah, we
Think
could
about
have
your
probably have a whole.
sorry, because clients don't necessarily need to work with you. Like the client is working with you at the end of the day. It's not, yes, the brokerage is definitely great to have behind you, but like they're working with you. They're choosing you as
Mhm.
their agent.
Totally,
So what do
100%.
you stand for and how will you serve them?
Yeah, yeah. I
And
love it.
yeah.
How can people find your 285 group if they're in that neck of the woods and they'd like to plug into that?
Yeah. Pretty easy. You just go on Facebook and you just type the term Ladies of 285 into the search
Okay.
bar and it should come up. It's the one that has Ladies of 285 dash networking, play dates, happy hours, and just plain community. So that's the one. You'll know
Okay.
it. You see it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on here. I mean, you're super inspirational, and
Oh,
I love your content, and it means a lot to me that you came on the show.
thank you so much, RJ. I really appreciate you having me today. And if I can leave here giving one agent a little tidbit or a little bit of inspiration or encouragement, then I've done my job.
I
So
think you have. I'm sure there's people listening that got a lot of stuff out of this. So,
awesome.
and if you are listening and enjoyed the show, please share it to your other friends in the business. That's how the word gets out, and consider leaving us a 5-star review. And once again, my name is RJ Baxter with Intercap Lending, here with Trang Janick from Madison and Company, and have a great rest of your day.
All right. Take it easy, guys.